Alright. Weekly recap going with Mr. John. What's going on with you?
Nothing.
That's
been a very lackluster week. Worked and then played a lot of Watch Dogs 2.
There you go. Oh, well, I mean, at least you got to play something, which is good. Mr. Josh?
I'm trying to recover from watching the debate.
That's understandable. One could definitely use a lot of illegal recovery items to try to get back from that.
Yeah, aside from that, been playing Switch some more. Mega Man Zero and Fire Emblem Three Houses. So I'm back to playing that again.
On your last recap, you were playing Mega Man already, right? Were you much farther since then, or kind of just...
So with Zero, I'm at the boss, but I just can't beat it because it's hard for me.
Mm-hmm. Sigma?
Nah, I don't want to say spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Hasn't played Zero.
So then, spoilers then.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, anything else?
So I recently picked up the Rocket book, which I showed you, yesterday I showed you?
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah.
For
those who don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of looking at what I scanned earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those who don't know, it's a reusable notebook.
Ooh.
I saw that posted on Instagram.
Yeah. So there's like a special pen you have to use, but you write on the page. You let the ink sit for about maybe 20 seconds, and there's a QR code at the bottom. You use the app to scan it, and then you can upload it to things like Dropbox, Evernote, your email.
All the good stuffs.
Yeah. So like right now, it's just a PDF on my Evernote.
Nice.
There is a function to transcribe it into text, and it's...
Depends on how clear, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it kind of depends on your handwriting. My handwriting's pretty shitty, but it picked up some of it for the most part.
Okay, that's good.
But then once you're done, it comes with a cloth. You just damp it with some water and just wipe it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat. And it was only a little, $30? Somewhere around there, so not too bad for the price.
Yeah, given what it does, I was really surprised. It works pretty well.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat. I would definitely recommend it.
There you go.
And then, of course, the virus.
Well, no, don't worry. Half of the cancellations on our itinerary are because of that. So.
Oh, yeah. Work has been pretty hectic for me.
Yeah, of course. You work at a fucking... you're IT, but you work at a fucking hospital.
I am IT, but I work for a hospital.
So, go figure how's that going.
Yeah, no, one of the facilities that I was working at, because they have me on rotation these few weeks now, and one of the hospitals that I was at, they just started initiating lockdown procedures, so you can only go in and out through certain
channels.
Entries. Yeah, they limited to 2 doors that you could come in. Patients are being screened, and you can only have 1 visitor at a time.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
safety.
At least they're taking precautions.
Yep.
Yeah,
especially in a hospital.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Faux show. Well, Josh hasn't died yet. Miss Mallory,
I'm still alive.
I didn't do much. I worked a lot. Recovering from having to go to HEB twice to get chicken. Because everybody bought chicken for
Mallory, the mic can't hear you.
Sorry.
You're super quiet and far, which is the worst combination. These two knuckleheads are quiet sometimes, but at least they're close.
No, just recovering from having to go to the store twice to get items for
that everyone freaked out about.
Yeah. Bought all the chicken. Trying to only buy 2 chicken breasts a day in order to have food to cook, but did that. Played Pokemon Go for a little bit. Yeah, it's really been my week since, everybody's going crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? And then for me, I am going to start playing games again soon. Animal Crossing is going to be out. I also did pick up some games. I just haven't played them. So I'm not going to spoil what those are because those are going to be upcoming videos. Speaking of videos, my vlog about the Everglow concert did really well. It's, I think, 3 days, 300 views. So 100 views a day. That's good.
Solid.
Nice.
So basically what happened to that tour is we were lucky we were the first stop because there were 6 shows total, if I recall correctly. The last 2, of course, being very much affected by everything coming in. The New Jersey show was extremely limited. I believe, I didn't see footage from it, but I believe they were probably going to have the girls wear masks, and then the audience was heavily advised to if they had one. Yeah. Of course, given the current crisis, they couldn't really require it because fucking everyone's hoarding masks, so fuck people. And then, of course, they did have staff did have to sanitize anyone coming in and out of the area, as, just to be clean, hand sanitizer on your way in and out. All stuff, including the high touch event, was extremely restricted. They said they were going to either reduce it to elbow touches or even just waving for the sake of the talent as well as the people in the audience, just to be clean. So unfortunately, people there got a very watered down version of what I got. And then, of course, the LA show was canceled entirely due to the local government there shutting all shows down, period.
Yeah.
So not like they just shut down that show and targeted that show. It's just that was one of the many shows that got canceled because of it.
Yeah.
The thing that was the most heartbreaking about that, and I understand a lot of people were telling me, I think people misconstrued when I relayed this message on social media, but the saddest thing about it, and I understand safety is important, so I don't mean as like they should have just went through with it, but what I was going to say that was really sad is so many people told me in comments on Reddit and YouTube and everywhere that my video really hyped them up and inspired them, and they were so excited for the show. Those people were going to go to the LA show.
Damn.
So, yeah. Unfortunate for them. I got them all hyped up for nothing, but obviously it's not like I could have fucking... We said that might be a thing, but how was I to know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is why it was just super lucky we were first. Because even on the day of the show, as we were driving to Dallas, we thought to ourselves, this could get canceled. Like, it just could be. They could just get really, But thankfully, Pandemonium hadn't hit entirely then, as it did now. Because shit is nuts now, as we were going to go through here. But, But I'm happy my video's doing well. I'm happy everyone's enjoying it. What I'm thinking about doing, and I'm just going to say it on the cast just because the crossover between K-pop fandom and here is not entirely 100%. But what I might do is make a video where I was holding back footage that I wasn't going to originally show for spoiler reasons for the LA people and do like a video for them since they didn't get to go. So we'll see. Catching up on stuff that's not necessarily not... another thing. Congratulations on Luna, K-pop group, who had their first music show win. That's something that most groups go through their whole career without getting. So a lot of people have been wanting theirs to get them for a while, so they got it, so good for them. NBA player Rudy Gobert. Is it Gobert? Gobert? I guess if you were French, it'd be Gobert.
It's idiot.
But it's Gobert, whatever.
Gobert.
So... he is he's one of the reasons that the NBA shut down right now because he has coronavirus.
Yeah.
Now, the reason that was a big deal, it being him, was prior to being diagnosed with it. He was seen in the locker room coughing around and being like, "Oh, I got coronavirus," and then he did.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then another player on that same team is now infected. And then a third NBA player, I believe not on their team, is also infected.
I wonder if there's like legal ramifications for doing that.
Granted,
you didn't know beforehand.
This fucking idiot touched all the goddamn mics. So he
touched all the mics and he coughed everywhere, and he also made light of the entire thing, and then ironically got it.
Fuck Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, so fuck him. That's why I'm calling him out by name. The other two, I'm leaving them anonymous. You can obviously just look it up, but they didn't do anything wrong. Rudy was a big dick about it. Now, he has, of course, since publicly apologized, but I don't accept it because any public figure who is forced to publicly apologize will publicly apologize, so I don't buy it. All I see it as is, I'm sorry I got coronavirus. That's what I hear it as. I don't hear it as I'm sorry, I hear it as I'm sorry I
didn't mean to get it, guys.
Yeah.
It was just a joke, though. I mean, come on.
So
if I had the flu,
he was a big dick
it'd be hilarious.
Just a prank, bro.
The Batman is delayed because of the coronavirus, so go figure, of course. We are also dropping out of the Nerdcore show because it looks like it's just not going to happen. We were going to go to the showcase, Nerdcore showcase at Flamingo, but Oh My dropped out. Shubs and Bill just recently said they were going to drop out. And of course, that's like, I think Lex still is going to be in town, but I don't even know if she's really going to go because she's staying in town with 80 from Dual Core. So they may just be chilling then. So it looks like the show's probably just going to get shut down because a lot of other shows, the entire Nerdcore days, that weekend of events, canceled. So it looks like this is just going to be a matter of time. With all these acts dropping out, it just looks like it's going to be a thing. Which sucks, because I really wanted to reunite with fucking Disconnected Cast fam, but maybe another time.
Yeah.
It was just so sad because it was such a perfect reunited in one show, like instead of just one at a time. But hopefully, we'll catch them again another time.
Yeah.
But that's a thing. So those of you who were probably going to go, one, there probably won't be a thing, and two, we're not going after all, so... Just so you guys know. And this is, of course, me also telling the crew that we're not going to... Because they didn't know, but then they also didn't know that, like, everything's kind of falling apart anyways. I did say to Josh privately that I said, if Shubs and Bill drop, we're probably not going to do this.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they dropped, so
Yeah,
we're out.
I know when we
Yeah.
chatted about it, it still seemed up in the air.
Exactly.
But,
I mean,
I kind of had a feeling like it just wasn't going to.
because they were confirmed and then dropped out after. They reconfirmed then dropped out because of the recent events.
Now, I would say for anybody, for those who may still be doing it, it would be kind of cool if they were to stream it. I know a lot of places are starting to do that now.
Yeah, the Get Down, Shubs and Bill's Get Down, recently was not live in a venue because of obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So they live streamed it with Kadesh Flow and Shubs and everybody.
Yeah.
So cool stuff. Cool. Yeah, exactly. There's lots of alternative to it. I believe Matt Heffy from Trivium is currently doing that because they're obviously not able to play their shows right now. A lot of acts seem to be going that route. So hey, it's a safe way to still... Yes, it's not that live person-to-person experience. We get that. I know someone's going to actually me and be like, well, the reason it's not the same... Fuck off, okay?
Yeah. Real quick,
go ahead.
The Metropolitan Opera is not going to be doing that shit, so they're going to be streaming like past opera performances.
Interesting.
So
cool.
That's
anybody
cool.
who might be interested in that sounds kind of neat idea.
Yeah, so it's cool that people are at least trying to find ways around it.
Yeah.
Better than nothing was
A
what
lot
I'd
of
say.
museums are doing that, where they're doing like virtual tours of the museum.
That's
while
real
people
cool.
can't go.
There you go. Final Fantasy VII director. This isn't super new, but I just heard about it recently. When I looked it up, it was like kind of like from a while back. But Final Fantasy VII remake director has said that if there's a franchise they are looking at most to bring back because it doesn't deserve to be dead, it's Parasite Eve.
Ooh.
So he has expressed interest in reviving that franchise. Of course, I agree with Wooly and Pat at Castle Super Beast that if they do that, they definitely need to ignore the third birthday and just totally do a whole... There's several franchises that have ignored the last one.
Yeah.
They should ignore the last one. That would definitely entail doing that because that pretty much was the reason the franchise died, is that game was so shitty and bad that the game died. I mean, that the franchise died. There's that.
Actually,
I also found out...
I actually know a guy that loves the third birthday.
You know people that like such bad things? I wonder sometimes about society. I wonder if we don't deserve coronavirus. But anyways, so Mortal Kombat 11, I found out, turned down Mick Gordon. So Mick Gordon, famed composer, Doom 2016, lots of other metal shit. If you look at his credits, anything with a metal soundtrack, basically, especially made in a Western studio, is usually music done by him. Apparently, when MK11 had entered production, Mick Gordon approached them and expressed interest in doing it. And they were basically like, nah, we'd rather have some B-rate ass motherfucker do our music for us, and turned him down.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And now the fucking Doom Eternal soundtrack sounds fucking amazing. Fucking metal choir and everything sounds fucking dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like it would have been such a good fit for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
fucking
like,
God damn it.
And the thing too is like a lot of the music for like MK11 and Injustice 2, like it just doesn't stick out.
It doesn't.
Really.
And I think if Mick did, he obviously didn't express interest in Injustice 2, so I can't speak for that. But for MK11, I feel it would have been perfect. Like he did. For those who don't know, he did the fucking score for Mortal Kombat. Killer Instinct. The new,
nice.
like all that reactive music, all that badass shit. Like. So between Doom Eternal, Doom, and fucking Killer Instinct reboot, like. That already is a ton of amazing music. Like, he really showed his flexibility, because he's known for being, Metal Man.
Yeah.
So obviously Doom made a bunch of sense. He has some metal-ish stuff in Killer Instinct, but doing fucking TJ Combo's song and stuff like that showed his ability to do hip-hop, his ability to do more like... They had like... Is it Gregorian? Is that how you say that? The Gregorian chants or whatever?
Chants,
yeah. They use like some techniques like that in some of the songs. Jago's song had some cool stuff in it. Like... He's a very well-versed composer, despite being mostly known for being Metal Man. So, it's a real shame that the fucking knuckleheads at fucking Mortal Kombat dropped the fucking ball like that. Like, if one of them could come out, if someone from NRS wants to fucking come out and explain to me why y'all made that bad decision, I'm open to hearing it. I won't accept he cost a lot, because Warner Brothers backs the fucking game, so I don't believe they didn't have a budget. So, yeah. I don't know. I would like to hear why, because... That, from what I heard, Mick Gordon basically just said they just told him he wasn't interested. I mean, that they weren't interested, so...
Weird.
That was crazy to hear. I couldn't believe that, because it would have been a perfect fit, basically.
Maybe they got their own in-house guy.
They did, and the music's not that good, so that's exactly what happened when you choose in-house over fucking a god, basically. He is, like, a fucking amazing composer, so there's that.
Yeah, like, I was actually surprised with the music that they used for the Spawn reveal trailer. I was like, wow.
Yeah!
Like, this is so much better than like everything else I've been hearing in the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Speaking of better than things you hear in that game, I just recently found out there is a Chris Benoit, not really a biopic because it's like a kind of how you say, like, exaggerated, like based on real events more so than a biopic. That is directed by the director of Punisher Warzone called Crossface, which just. The fact that director did the thing cracks me up so bad. Like, I can imagine, like, Benoit, like, putting someone in the crossface and popping their head open or some shit. Like, it just, that combination sounds fucking so funny. And it's not even a new movie. That movie came out a while back, but, like, I just found out about it and I was just like, what the fuck? I can't believe this is a fucking thing, dude.
Yeah, it's
this
kind
is
of
so
wild.
weird.
I thought they canceled Benoit.
Yeah, the WWE did, which is why this guy made this movie, because it's about Benoit, not the WWE. So, yeah. Because no one owns Benoit, per se. In fact, the WWE doesn't even pretend like he exists, so there's that. Exactly.
Benoit.
Which makes sense. And then you have that weird thing where they did that with Hulk Hogan for like a few months.
Yeah.
Where they erased him from history for a few months, and then they realized Vince realized he hates black people too, so
they
he brought him
undid
back.
the Thanos snap.
Basically, yeah. That was basically it. And then finally, before we get into the news, I pull out a gun out of the fridge and I'm just joking.
Jeez. That escalated.
Happy anniversary. Today's literally, as we're recording this Sunday, March 15th is our actual literal anniversary.
No
this
shit.
is when we started it, actually. So cheers, everybody.
Toast.
Stay safe.
Toast.
Nobody die.
Toast.
And John Sandwich, I hope you're okay. But
that's fine.
No, it's awesome. It's a perfect year. So now we know March 15th. The Ides of fucking March is actually our anniversary, legitimately. That's
hilarious
pretty.
And hopefully not ominous.
Yeah, that was not. It definitely would have been a thing if one of you guys didn't show up. But the Ides of March, thank goodness, we're all here. And hopefully not ominous. But what a coincidence. I didn't mean to, obviously, when we started this. It was just, when are you available, John? And then we started.
Let's do it, yeah.
So that's what that is. Cool. Before we get into it, where can everybody find your stuff, Mr.? I'm trying to change up the order a little bit. Mr. John, where can everybody find you on the internet?
@_Evil Dead Guy.
Mr. Josh?
@Joshiro Joestar for Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. YouTube, ShiroPlay5.
I realized I wasn't changing it up. You can find me at ZD Rocker at all the places, and SlimAsianEntertainment.com, as well as DisconnectedCast.com. And where can everyone find you, Mr. Mallory?
You can find
Mr. Mallory.
Okay. They can find me at Instagram.
Get those pronouns correct, sir.
I don't believe in boundaries.
Awesome_Mally.
No one heard that.
Yeah.
Sorry, do it again. Everyone was talking.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at awesome_Mally.
All right. There.
Awesome Mally.
Nothing yet. Nothing.
Not awesome Mally.
You spell it all out.
Awesome
UNDER. SSC.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing. Anyways, whatever. Fucking hell. Here we go. Right into the news. Recently released Call of Duty Warzone. It is for anyone who played the last Call of Duty game that had what they called Blackout Mode, which was basically PUBG with Call of Duty shit. Here's the thing about that mode. Is one, this is just a standalone version of it, but it's like a better functioning PUBG. Like, PUBG is known for having gone so far downhill since its launch. It's just super broken, especially on PC at least. Super broken. Ton of hackers and Chinese cheaters and auto aims and all this bullshit. It's just really fucked up.
I saw a post China.
Yeah, basically because that's where a lot of the cheatings come from, ironically. But anyways, so Call of Duty basically did PUBG better than the PUBG does. But it's nothing crazy stand out. It doesn't have the, let's face it, whether or not we like Fortnite, the art is very distinguishable. We see Fortnite shit even before reading the logo. We kind of already recognize it. We don't even play Fortnite. It's pretty distinguishable.
Yeah.
And Apex Legends has a thing where some people really feel it's not memorable at all, where they couldn't tell the difference whether or not something's an Overwatch character or Apex. They don't feel it has any discernible Apex like personality or standout thing like Fortnite. And that's why a lot of people believe that's why nothing can really touch Fortnite, is nothing has any sort of residual like memory. Like, you just kind of, you play it like
aesthetic.
Because nobody like some of the characters are kind of cool in Apex, and I like Apex. This is coming from someone who likes the game. But I don't find any of them very unique or memorable. I'm just like, the names are, like fucking...
Caustic.
Yeah, Caustic or whatever.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, just stuff like that. So none of the names are really memorable. And then on top of that, they just look like dudes or chicks. Like nothing like, big eye patch with a big bomb shoulder and like anything like that. Just, it's like, black chick and white dude, and you know what I mean. Like it's not anything really memorable.
Very middle of the road.
My friend showed me this promo, which I at least thought was somewhat interesting, where they basically were doing a character reveal. And to put it into terms of stuff, we'll probably understand a little bit more because I guess like most of us in this room don't really play Apex Legends. So imagine it was the character reveal for Ana, let's say, right? But then partway through, she gets like slashed in half and killed, and then it's actually Hammond's reveal.
Oh, cool.
And Ana wasn't ever really going to be a real character. They kind of just like fucking debated you into thinking she was going to be a character. And so there was some dude, he was supposed to be this big deal, and it's supposed to be his character reveal, and then he gets killed in the middle of it, and then they reveal the real character reveal. At least that's at least somewhat interesting,
like
where
that.
they built this random dude up out of nowhere, and it sounded like he was going to be a new thing, and then he's just not anything.
Yeah. I hope Overwatch.
But even after that, I already forgot about it until telling this anecdote. It was still something where, even something like that I thought was somewhat ambitious, I don't care still. You know what I mean? In terms of like, it's not memorable.
Right.
So going back to the point, Call of Duty, same thing. It's more solid gameplay, as I like to call it. Call of Duty is the most okay game of all time. It's functional. It's not really glitchy or bad, except for that one thing where the PC port was fucked. I forgot if it was, I think it was COD Blops 2, I want to say, or 3. No, whatever the latest one was. When that came out on PC, that shit ran at like 5 to 10 frames per second on PC. It was completely borked. The console versions ran fine, but the PC version was absolutely fucked. So aside that, whatever happened there, Call of Duty is generally solid in terms of like, it runs, right? But there's nothing, it's always, the story's always really generic and blah, like, Soldierman makes tough decisions, not really. To me, the game that ruined tough military decisions for me, in terms of like, it was so good, I couldn't get into the whole military idea ever again. Spec Ops: The Line. Exactly. Spec Ops: The Line did such a good job of having a very interesting narrative. The only cardinal sin it did is they do the thing where when you make a bad decision, when not given a choice at all, it's like, there is no choice, but you have to do the choice. Like, are you going to pull the trigger or not? The game will not move until you pull the trigger. Then you do. And it's like, why the fuck would you do that, man? And that's the one thing it does in some scenarios where I was just like, I didn't have a choice! I didn't want to kill that guy! And like, that's the only thing that kind of bothers me, is there are some situations, it doesn't always, like, not every tough decision's like that, but there were some points where I was just like, this is a little fucked up, because just make it a cutscene, and don't make me pull the trigger. I get what you're trying to do, you're trying to make me feel guilty, but this just pisses me off because you didn't give me a choice.
Right.
But overall, it does some feels. Like, that really did do a great job of, I think, expressing the horrors of war. Like, actually the horrors of war and tough decisions that have to be made. So Spec Ops: The Line pretty much ruined every other military shooter for me, because that story was really good. Yeah. Who was it? Nolan? Was it Nolan North that, or
it was Nolan
I thought
North.
it was
I wanna
Troy.
Was it Troy? Oh, no. I want to say it was Nolan North. Someone, could you Google that? Mallory will Google that. Who voiced Spec Ops: The Line Man? But it was one of them. It was Troy Baker or Nolan North. I want to say it was
either or.
It's funny how it was, but it was either or. But I want to say it was Nolan North. But anyways, back to CODs. It's fine, right? So it's free to play. If you already own Modern Warfare, it just plays off those assets. So it's only an additional like 10 or 15 gig patch. But if you don't own the game, it's an 81 to 101 gig download, because it's basically downloading Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Cutting that part off because you don't own it, and then using the assets to run Warzone.
Yeah. Is it still free regardless?
It is still free, which is great. And it is truly free. The only real pay-to-play stuff so far, there's no pay-to-win stuff, thankfully. Cosmetics, and, you're going to buy things to buy. You can get skins. Basically, skins and, like, little, like, cosmetic, like, changes to the look of the character, but that's it. Thankfully, no game-breaking monetization, which is fine.
That's cool.
If it has to be there, it might as well not be a loot box or game-breaking.
Right.
So there's that. It is Nolan North, right? Okay. So, Nolan North does a great job, and, man, he really, some of the emotions he portrays in that, he's just fantastic.
That's a great ending.
Let's see. Yeah, the monetization's fine, yada yada yada. Oh, right, so when you all drop in, you're in teams of 3, so it isn't your PUBG type 1 versus 100,
So it's Apex.
but there is 150 people that drop in instead of fucking 100. So there's 150 divided by 3, however many fucking teams that is, but...
It's like, what, 30?
Yeah, something like that. It seems pretty, like, it looks really good, though. So graphically, it looks fine and everything. That's a lot of fun. The other cool thing it does is cross-play and cross-platform progression.
Ooh.
The thing that fucking Overwatch hell needs.
Yeah.
So do not give me the fucking excuse anymore why I don't have my Mercy skin on PC. Fuck you. Now it's too late because everyone will be like, well, I bought like 300 more loot boxes on PC and on PlayStation, so now I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So they'll never do it now. It's too late now. But like fucking, they're showing that it can be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, cross-play, cross-progress, which is great.
Nice.
That's really cool. And then the other cool thing is the system of your respawn system. When you die, you go to the gulag, and basically you and another player who died get into a 1v1 brawl, and whoever wins gets out of the gulag. Whoever loses fights the next dude to try to get the fuck out of the gulag. So if you suck that much dick, you're going to be in the gulag for the whole game, basically.
Interesting.
So it's an interesting system. Yeah, you die, you wake up in the little jail cell, you get out, you find the other dude, and you're like, hey, fuck you, bitch, and you start trying to fucking kill each other to get the fuck out of there. I think that's an interesting respawn system because
that's great.
there's some sort of challenge to coming back instead of dying 300 times in a row and just waiting for the 10-second timer, basically.
You're going to
Like,
hurt someone's feelings if they can't get out.
if you have in-game currency, you can also bring them back that way. So, you know, but the thing is, you kind of want to save that because you want to maybe upgrade your weapon to the better shotgun, stuff like that. And all that in-game currency is literally just that. It's not, you know, oh, I'm paying $10 to bring my friend back. It's what you've gotten throughout the match.
Yeah.
So then you use that. Again, Borderlands and Call of Duty, I just never thought I'd say this in this fucking 2020. Borderlands 3 and fucking Call of Duty handling monetization surprisingly well considering the companies that are behind both of these games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, worth checking out. It's one of those games that's actually free, that's not cancerous. It's not like a fucking mobile game where I'm just like, oh, it's right, it's free. No, that will trick you into paying money. Like, this shit is like, you know, unless you're really addicted to fucking CSGO gun skins, that's all it basically really, that you're really playing for is just shitty character customizations on characters that just look like generic people or a gun skin. Like, unless you're really addicted to that, there's no real, you know, no harm, no foul for actually trying it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was so nice to hear people at work, because people at my work has, like, mostly PlayStation, but a few Xbox players out there. Nice hearing them say, it's nice to play with you, because it doesn't fucking matter. Like, 3 PlayStation people and 2 Xbox people were talking about how they played together. I was just like, See, what the fuck? Why is this not... This should be the fucking standard, goddammit. So, it's nice. It was very nice to hear that, because that's just something that I think should be, you know, fucking common ground by now. Reggie Fils-Aimé joins GameStop. Obviously retired from Nintendo.
Oh, no.
Why?
So
Joining a sinking
he
ship.
is... Exactly.
Right.
So, before I reveal what I think it is, without, like, cutting each other off, why do you guys think Reggie's joining GameStop? Josh already fucking pretty much. Exactly.
I mean,
That's exactly it.
squeeze
It's
the last
so
little
funny
bit
how
out.
like it couldn't be any more transparent. Like I love Reggie, but there's no way he actually believes he's going to save that company. Now he did a whole spiel about it, how he feels, you know, he has the right ideas with what he did at Nintendo that he feels can fucking save GameStop, but that's what you say when you're trying to collect a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
It's like when your job asks you, I mean, you would do anything for this company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
man. So
If there's enough zeros, sure.
exactly. So he joins them on the board of directors. He is a member of the Nominating and Corporate Governance Committee, whatever the fuck that means. Now, here's the thing: working for several corporations in my life, including GameStop at one point. The thing that's always blown my mind are all these high-level titles that I'm like, what the fuck does this person even do?
Yeah. Why?
And that's a committee of people that work under nominating and corporate governance. What the fuck does any of that mean to what do they do? Now, of course, there are a group of people who make up what they do, obviously, to keep a job. But I've always found titles like that fucking hilarious. But yeah, obviously he's not trying to save a sinking ship. He's obviously just there for the paycheck. He's trying to ride this shit into the ground. And you know what? Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Collect one more paycheck before you fucking go in. Now, the funny thing is, he kind of talks about his credentials a bit, in which, when he was first there, he's like, oh, I'm, Reggie Fils-Aimé, obviously. Worked at Nintendo. I did work on the DS. the Wii, the 3DS, and the Switch.
Gamestop.
Totally negating the Wii U. Even though Reggie was part of and had a lot to do with the Wii U, he totally just was just like, yeah, guys, I worked on the DS, the Wii, the 3DS, and the Switch, guys. Great times at Nintendo. Like, just fucking murder balling the fucking Wii U under the bus. It's just like, see you, bitch. I had a part of that.
Didn't they Benoit the Wii U?
Basically, they Benoit the Wii U. And now that all the games worth it are pretty much going to be on the Switch now, really, you just can. That's really just a piece of shit now.
Yeah.
And he also apparently used to work at VH1, Pizza Hut, and Procter & Gamble. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So
So
when
he's
we
been around town.
So when we make business cards, can we make up bullshit titles for ourselves?
Yes.
Yes, John is the director of fucking film and visionary fucking bullshit.
I like that.
Whatever the fuck it
Just
is.
bullshit.
I should just make up dumbass
Visionary
titles for each of
bullshit.
you. 2K coming back into the football making game. They have made an agreement with Madden, with NFL to make a game that doesn't compete with Madden. The NFL went to 2K, who used to make NFL 2K,
Yeah.
to make an NFL game that doesn't compete with Madden. So basically, what the idea is
How
they're
do you
not
do
going to
that?
go.
Right.
They're not going to go into the simulation game. That's basically what they
So
mean.
they're just
So they can do
gonna try
NFL
allocating.
Street. They can do like whatever the fuck.
Okay.
But NFL bobblehead match or whatever the fuck. But you just can't do a direct competitor to Madden. That's what their contract
Backyard
literally
NFL.
is. Basically, they had NFL Street 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Now, if you've ever played any of the NBA Street games or NFL Street games, they're fine. They're stupid because it makes no sense.
That was still
If you
EA,
fucking,
though, right?
Huh?
Wasn't that still
It was still EA.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they-
sorry, EA.
EA, because that's what they do in sports. EA doesn't do sports. EA
Big
does.
load of shit.
Yeah, basically.
Would Blood Bowl infringe upon that?
Hell yeah, it would, because that's Warhammer.
No, I mean.
Oh, you mean does that? No,
Yeah.
because that's definitely not a simulation. There's no elves in real life, so that already negates that.
What do you mean there's no elves in real life?
They will start cranking out games in 2021, probably because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They just wanted to sign that contract because NFL money,
Just wanna
which
see
isn't
who
much right now,
survives.
obviously.
Haha.
Command & Conquer Remastered coming to Steam and for some fucking reason Origin. I know why EA, but fucking could they just give up on Origin already?
Yeah.
I think Pat from Cast of Super Beast put it best where he just said, there's different types of DRM. Steam, great. This was before Epic Games came out, so we didn't talk about that. He goes, if you're gonna fucking use whatever, he said all these different launchers, you want to do good old games, Galaxy, whatever the fuck, right? But Origin, really consider if the game is fucking worth it.
Yeah.
Because fuck Origin. Like, Origin's actually a DRM that is so bad, it can actually make a game not worth playing.
The UI is really weird too.
It's just clunky and shitty.
Yeah.
And it updates every single fucking time it updates. It's like a goddamn Apple product.
Yeah,
Like,
it does
it's fucking
update
weird.
a lot.
Um,
I still like it better than Uplay.
yeah, which is sad, right? Isn't that fucking sad?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Uplay is... Oh, no, Uplay was one that he said was it was shit. Okay,
It
yeah.
is shit.
What I just said was about Uplay. Origin is still shitty, though. But Uplay, you're right,
Yeah.
is the actual worst. Anyways, the collection will contain 1995's Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn, classic fucking game. Then the one that got me into it, 1996's Command & Conquer Red Alert. That was my very first Command & Conquer game, so fucking amazing. And it will actually come also, despite those two main games, as well as the expansion packs Covert Ops, Counter-Strike, and the Aftermath, which I never played any of the expansions, so great excuse to go
It's
back.
not going to come with
and do
Tiberian
that.
Sun?
They're probably going to try. It's EA, so they're probably going to release
Bitches.
that at a later time. It's going to come it's going to come out on June 5th. It'll have several graphical and UI tweaks that will obviously make it work on an HD monitor and other shit that they didn't have to consider in the original time, as well as fixing a few weird overlay things.
I mean, there's no way it can be worse than World of Warcraft 3
Reforged, right? Exactly, this point, right? So, it'll be $19.99 for all the 2 games and 3 expansions will be $19.99 digital release.
Not a bad
Fine,
price.
not a bad price at all.
No.
They do have, of course, because they can't help themselves because they're fucking EA, they have a physical edition, $59.99. It'll be through Limited Run Games. It's going to come, obviously Limited Run Games does fantastic packaging, so it's going to be like a 2-piece big box with like all this nice stuff. It's going to have a, you're still going to, of course the game itself will still be digital. It's one of those weird things where there's no
Yeah.
physical copy of the game, it's a digital code.
Just buying
But
stuff.
it'll come with a Tiberium Crystal 16 gig USB drive,
Nice.
which will come with the entire remastered soundtrack, which is over 119 tracks, over 7 hours of music, has all of exclusive tracks and new ones as well. A reversible 18 by 24 poster, 4 really, really high quality enamel pins. If you've ever seen any limited run games as pins, they're fucking great. And then tech tree prints, 1 for each faction, and stickers of each faction's logos.
Nice.
Then there's going to be the $149.99 25th anniversary physical edition, which is going to have all of that shit. Thankfully, it's also done by limited run games, so thankfully the quality will still be there. It's going to have all of the stuff before. It's also going to have a foil and embossed rigid box, so the entire thing will be foil art, holographic nonsense that we liked when we were, young. Mm-hmm. It'll have you do get the USB drive, that Tiberian crystal drive, but you also get a 6-disc remastered original soundtrack as well, signed by the original composer.
Wow.
100 plus page art book, 4 faction iron-on patches, a reversible beanie, a metal mammoth tank replica, and a painted PVC light and sound Tesla coil and obelisk replicas from the game.
That's not bad.
$149.99. All that shit I just said between both versions will be included in that $149.99 version.
Literal, like,
and guess what? With the fucking game, because Josh and I were just talking about that run of times where nothing came with the fucking game. All these like the Watch Dogs 2, all 12 versions of that game did not come with the game.
Really?
Yes.
Let's say my middle school self is like gleeful because I used to play the original Command.
Right? Dude, it's a nostalgia trip, and just to know that they're giving it this fucking amazing, like, welcome back. And guess what? You don't give a fuck about any of that stuff? You gotta have the fucking $20, like, it's only $20 for the fucking game, dude. 3 expansions, that's hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay for sure.
Yeah. I really want to know what the little, FMV scenes are gonna be.
Oh, like. Yeah, that'll be really interesting.
Dude, fucking, I remember how crazy it was playing through the Nod campaign, and that guy's fucking giving you orders, and then when you, fail, he just fucking gets shot, and then Kane shows up. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking good. Oh,
yeah, it was crazy, just being a kid playing that.
Yeah, if any of you guys are either too young or just never played the Command & Conquer series, if you like RTSs, do yourself a fucking favor. That is one of the GOATs. And originals, too. One of the first. What RTSs are now, lends a lot from Command & Conquer, obviously. So, definitely check that out.
It's a bad guy Tim Curry, right?
Well, Tim Curry was a bad guy in one of them. In the later ones. In the one. I thought I'm fairly sure he was.
Oh, man. I don't remember.
There's one with fucking, what's his name?
Wasn't Michael Biehn in one of them?
Michael Bihn's...
I think he was in Tiberian Sun.
Yes. Jenny McCarthy... who's Jim Carrey's ex-wife?
Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy, right? Yeah. She was a character in one of them. That was the one that came out on Xbox 360. What's his name? Gay Asian dude from Star Trek.
Zachary Quinto?
John Cho.
Tim Curry was in Red Alert.
Zachary Quinto's not Asian. Fuck. George Takei.
Yeah, George Takei was in FMV's.
Which Red Alert was he in? Was it 2?
3.
He was in Red Alert 3. Okay, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the first one.
It was no. None of the ones we're saying, everybody, for clarity, is in any in way later games, 3 and on, and the ones I'm all saying are on fucking Xbox 360, so way later.
Yeah.
But basically, the point is, Command & Conquer likes to bring a lot of celebrity talent in the FMVs, so
Nice.
A lot of the people that we mentioned and a lot more are all in there. They had one that had 3 different wrestlers in it. That shit was fucking weird because they can't act.
Yeah, man.
What are you talking about? It's all in there.
Respect, fucking rest in peace, Westwood Studios.
Yeah,
they did that old Dune RTS on the Genesis.
I never checked that out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I never played it either, but I heard a lot. That was a pretty big deal.
Remaster that, goddammit! Right. Do that and do a new version of that.
Dune is coming out.
Huh?
Dune is coming out.
Oh, they're doing a new
doing
thing?
another one.
Okay.
You're talking about the movie, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the game.
That's what I'm saying. Coincide. Yeah.
Oh, to make one. Just don't don't make it a movie tie-in directly game.
It's Jason Momoa is going to be in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I forgot who exactly he's going to be playing, though. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be Paul.
That would be great.
Is Sting going to be in it again?
If only.
So lonely, message in a bottle. It's just Police does the soundtrack for the new one. Let's see. Oh, there. So back in late 2019, there were July 2019, there started the JoyCon Drift lawsuit because a lot of people's Joy-Cons, including some light units, basically drift is when the stick, even when it's completely straightened out, registers as still moving to one side and is completely fucked in your unit. Thankfully, that's the biggest fear of mine is on my light, especially now that it's fucking signed and shit.
Right.
If it gets drift, I'm just fucked because I'm not sending that shit in because they're just gonna send me some generic ass like blue or yellow one back and say fuck you. You know what I mean? So I'm not. If that ever gets drift, fuck it. It's a very small percentage, but it's been reported enough that people filed a class action lawsuit against Nintendo about drift and them not appropriately addressing the situation. Now, Nintendo, of course, moved to dismiss. It has recently been denied. So the court does find it obviously enough grounds that have been proven that Nintendo needs to explain themselves more on why they're not doing more about drift. Now, what you can do, it's basically like the Red Ring of Death scenario where you are able to send in your Joy-Cons, or unfortunately if you have a light, you got to send in the whole thing. And they will either repair it or refurbish it or give you new ones or whatever they're really doing. You don't really know. You just get some, you send some out, some come back, you don't know. Unless you draw an X on the back or something, or you have a certain scratch that you know is yours, you'll never really know.
Yeah.
But people are just like I've never heard of people getting 2 drift units in a row, but some people have claimed to. I think that might be a little bit. It's such a small percentage. It must be either the person's just bullshitting or just really unlucky. One of the two. But that will continue later this year because the judge said, explain yourself. Because basically Nintendo does agree when they sell their shit that they're giving someone a working product. A drift Joy-Con is not a working product. Ergo, they need to fix this better.
Capitalism.
So yeah, basically. No. One of the main things I've heard is the turnaround time issue. Laura Kate Dale, Jimquisition, and also independent journalist. She did report that when she sent hers out, it did take like weeks to get back. So that sucks. Now, of course, if you are playing on a regular Switch unit, you can still use your Pro Controller otherwise. So it's basically just no good to go. Unless, of course, you have a second set of Joy-Cons or something like that. And thankfully, no one who's bought the upgraded or like the brand new overpriced ones, like the replacement units that you could buy, like the purple and orange one, the green ones, the red ones, and all that stuff. None of those seem to be getting drift, but the base ones are. Whether it's the blue and red ones or the gray ones, those are the ones. The default units are the ones that seem to be reported for that. No one's ever sent in a purple and orange unit and been like
programmed obsolescence.
Basically, the main thing that people have issue with the replacing Joy-Cons, because some people really like the colors. Like me, I'm a big fan of that orange and purple one because I love purple. Not so much the orange. I wish it was 2 purple ones. But the fucking price point, man. Those things are fucking $80. Those things are $70 to $80 for the replacing Joy-Cons. A PlayStation and Xbox controller, I would already think is ludicrous, but I literally can see the value in the full controller. But it's just 2 of these little pieces of shit, man. That should not be as much as an Xbox or PlayStation controller.
Ridiculous. Man. The fact that they're like DualShock is $70 right now is ridiculous.
Yeah, even that's already fucked up. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I am going to link it in the description of the podcast. They are making a Lego Mario, like a literal, like a Lego Mario, and it's basically a pretty oversized one. He has a digital eye. He has a electronic panel in a screen in his eyes, mouth, and chest area that display different things. And then, of course, you have little sets, which I'm assuming you're going to be able to buy more parts to it. But you basically play with IRL Mario, but it's by Lego. It's a visual collaboration with you, so it'll be really interesting. We'll see,
So give me that Zelda.
That'd be interesting. They're probably trying to test market it with Mario, but they could. The weird thing about the mouth is the mouth just does open and smile, so he never stops fucking smiling, which is a little fucking weird. But his eyes open, close, pain, whatever the fuck, and then the chest will usually show like, oh, you have Fireball. I'm assuming they're maybe eventually going to link it to like a board game or something, because like it could show different symbols on his chest or whatever. So it's interesting. We'll all see price point and all that stuff, but yeah, the set will come through. There'll be different set things, Mushroom Kingdom, which will have Goombas, Piranha Plants, question blocks, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
So
I want to play Mario now.
That'll be interesting. Some fucking weeb-ass game is coming out. Soju Jigoku no Doku Musume is announced by the studio Nippon Ichi Software for PS4 and Switch, which was announced, go fucking surprise, announced by Famitsu, the fucking xenophobic journalist, publication. It'll be coming out on June 25th. Main thing is that about the character designer of the game is that they had previously worked on stuff like the Disguise series, The Witch and the Hundred Knight 2, and The Princess Guide. So those are all the art styles and all those, especially like this guy is really cool. So like should have cool art at the very least. So that game is coming out. I just found it hilarious how like no one really in the Western market, like no one really was like, what the fuck, I guess this is coming out, but Famitsu was the one to initially break the story because Japanese game.
Yeah.
Japanesey.
Iron Harvest is another RTS game we're going to talk about today is Iron Harvest, which is a very cool looking game. Like it takes place in the fucking like 20s or something, like 90, whatever the fuck.
Aftermath of
the early, yeah. And
I was say like the narrative was actually because funny that we mentioned Red Alert earlier because reading the narrative was like this kind of reminds me of Red Alert.
Yeah. So art style looks cool.
Yeah, it looks neat.
Like early industrial mech combat, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's based on art by the Polish artist Jakub Rosalski. So, yeah, apparently he does a lot of art that takes place in that time frame, as well as, like, basically what we're seeing there is what his art looks like.
Jeez,
so.
Let it go, bro. No one's
Oh, God. All right, so, Mallory, you said you've been playing Pokemon Go, right?
I have been.
How is Pokemon going, considering the current climate of Zawardo?
But will you Pokemon go to the polls in
There you
November?
go.
So Pokemon Go kind of changed some stuff up to help with not making you leave your house
And get coronavirus to play
Yeah.
Pokemon Go.
Can you still catch poison Pokemon?
Yes, you can. You can still catch poison Pokemon.
Not
But what they
doing their
did
part.
was they changed
Poison Pokemon, not virus Pokemon.
like the range to where you can get Pokemon. So like at my house, I'd get no Pokemon spawn at all ever, and now they spawn pretty frequently. So people don't have to leave their houses anymore. They also put a discount on a box because in the game you can get an adventure box or a community box or something like that. And they just released one, and it's a blue box, and it's for a one Pokecoin, and you get 30 incense, which just helps spawn more Pokemon around you. So that's pretty cool. They have postponed the community day for this month, which was supposed to be Abra, and then there was another other real world events that were going to happen where you would usually gather with people.
Go into coronavirus fucking circumstances.
So they were like, hey, we're postponing all of these. You still have to go to Pokestops to get stuff, but they're
or
giving
pay money.
Yeah.
I'm not changing that part.
But they are, like, you can't buy the eggs, so what they're doing is if you spin a Pokestop, you get more eggs. Your eggs are hatching at, like, half the time that it would take you to hatch regular
Walk around
eggs.
your house like an insane
Anxiously
person.
pacing. Right?
Your,
Can I
your
leave?
Pokemon is catching, getting candies more from walking, but it's even reduced that time just because people aren't able to leave their houses right now. So that's pretty cool. And they said that once things start to calm down, they'll be able to do more, but we're not exactly sure what they're going to put out.
Given the current circumstance, now I don't know Niantic's situation in which if this has affected their workforce or staffing, but it's nice to see them even take these steps at all, because you don't have to. So that's really cool of them. Anything else from that? Is that pretty much it?
No, that's pretty much it. Like I said, community days are pretty
Postponed
cool.
for now?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're pretty cool. I mean, I've gone out
You've
there
gone
a few
'cause you're a
times,
nerd.
and there's a whole bunch of people walking around parks and stuff. So it's kind of weird to see like that's going to be postponed.
Yeah, but it's also understandable. Yeah.
So it's just going to be sad that I have to miss out on it for right now.
Don't worry, everyone. If you're tired of hearing me say coronavirus, you got a lot more coming for you.
Yay!
Due to the current coronavirus situation, stock market, staff wearing thin, some places not even working right now, some studios not working right now, China providing parts for consoles, it looks like the PS5 and Xbox Series X's release dates are predicted, not confirmed yet, but speculated to be pushed into 2021. So there you go.
Global
That's going to be a
pandemic will
thing.
do that.
E3 is canceled due to the coronavirus.
What?
Over 20 million people were playing on Steam today. That is Sunday the 15th because there was nothing else to do. Xbox Live, even though this is the not ideal time to be happening, has gone down twice for several hours this fucking week. So now is not the time to be doing that shenanigans. It's usually PlayStation that keeps going down for no reason. Now Xbox is going down with this coronavirus, so that's weird. Five Nights at Freddy's, the title, they have several fucking games now. I don't even know which number one this is anymore. But Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted is going to be coming to the Switch, Xbox One, as well as the Oculus Quest sometime later this year. So I'm not going to get it not because I dislike that game, because I'm a baby and I can't play that game. But hey, now you can play it on the go and shit yourself, whether it's the Oculus
I'm
Quest
gonna bring it over here so you can play it.
oh god.
It's a scary game.
It's not that bad, guys.
No, it's not that
Get it ready for a Halloween disconnected spook stream.
bad. Ooh, we should.
Oh, that'd be fun.
It's been a while
Like,
since
That's
we've
been a while
done
since we
something
did
like
that.
that.
I think we were still living at like the other apartments.
Yeah.
When we did that. Fucking.
Holy shit, that's
Outlast.
right.
Here we go. Outlast was new.
Yeah.
The last time we had a fucking Halloween special,
I think the last thing.
I
or was it Evil Within? Which one was later?
Evil Within.
We did one for Evil
okay.
Within, and we did one
I don't
for
think.
Outlast.
I think Evil Within was later. I didn't partake in that one.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah,
But
Neither
I
did
do
I.
remember Outlast because I was drunk and
Yeah,
wasting the
and-
camera
yeah, you were
battery.
wasting camera as like an ass hat.
We did
So, and we'll
Outlast.
probably be drunk again for this one. So yeah.
Let's do Machine for Pigs again.
Oh, Vincent and I already did that whole one. That game sucks.
Yeah, it's not that. No, that one's not
Yeah.
very good. I would
Um,
say if we really need to do something from those developers, of the names I can't remember, I would probably suggest maybe Soma.
Soma would be
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Soma.
I have
I don't
not
wanna
touched
spoil
that
it.
one at
You
all.
haven't? Okay,
so-
no, I own it. We're
Really?
doing it then. That's the one.
Ooh,
Alright.
I
That's
wanna
the one.
play
So
that
we'll stay tuned for details on that. Before we just start planning future events on the podcast, but that was a good idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, not spoil everything.
TVA.
Michael Chu, lead writer at Blizzard, is leaving the company after 20 years. He's actually one of the main story writers behind Overwatch. So he's going
Damn.
now, and it'll be really interesting to see where they go with the stories or what they'll change or if it'll even matter. Because, like many things, you just never know. But the dude is a big part of Blizzard's story writing staff, so he is leaving to follow greener pastures. Or maybe it's because Blizzard hates Hong Kong.
Blizzard.
Maybe.
Microsoft. Oh, right. Fucking Bill Gates stepped down. Like,
Oh.
I've
the
been
thing.
hearing apparently a lot of CEOs
Yep.
have been stepping down recently.
Given the
No
current
wonder
climate.
why.
Yeah.
Pitchford hasn't yet, though. He just disappeared, but he hasn't
He's
stepped down
smart.
officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very curious.
It's curious how he disappeared then coronavirus happened.
Right? Like,
Pitchford caused coronavirus.
Really,
man.
really coincidental that he disappeared.
He's just
and
in his
then-
Mysterio
allegedly.
outfit. Coronavirus. No.
That's pretty much that. Did we actually? I stayed within an hour. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Nice.
So far, that's been our thing. When we don't have guests, we've been in an hour. So there you go. That's the news for the week, though. That's pretty much it. No real main topic, just because everything's just fucking coronavirus, and I'm just
Coronavirus,
fucking
like-
getting exhausted from talking about it, basically.
No, we
So,
gotta talk about it more.
there's
Everybody
that.
else is it's just a hot topic.
There's the Pickle Rick memes.
no,
okay,
let's
you know,
not
oh
fucking
god,
talk
there's
about
Pickle
that.
Rick Pringles. My friend posted that, and I wanted to die.
Oh, is that real?
It's real,
Fuck.
unfortunately.
Anyway, so
We do deserve
I decided
coronavirus.
to Google the IMDb casting of Doom 2020.
Oh.
Jason Momoa is gonna be Duncan, Idaho. So meaning if they just so he's gonna die. Spoilers.
Right.
But if they do sequels, hey, he's gonna get that check
There you go.
because he'll be like in every fucking sequel.
That's fucking great. And then now
yeah.
they're doing a
Who's
new
Paul?
Dune. They should do
Someone Timothy Chalamet.
whoever that is.
Chalamet? Okay.
Chalamet, maybe, I don't know. The most recent thing I see him in was Little Women, which I haven't seen.
I heard that was really good.
Yeah, I heard it was good too, but I haven't watched it. Hot Summer Nights.
Let me see what does it look like.
Well, in that movie, he was cast as someone by the name of Daniel. Lady Bird, apparently.
Lady Bird.
Lady
All right.
Bird.
So as we go through IMDb, just randomly, I know you guys are sitting there like, what the fuck is the point of this?
Right.
Other than that, we will catch you guys every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Until next episode, you guys be safe, stay indoors, don't panic, and don't remember the event. And we will catch you guys next week.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, do that shit.
Read Dune while you're at it.
Yeah, read Dune. You have
That's a
time.
good idea.
Bye.
It's a big book.
play Pokemon Go. That's stuff.
Refreshing.